Hey, what's up, guys? And welcome to Mount Fitness MBS Ministry, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. And if you're new to the channel, the first couple of things you want to know about this ministry is that this ministry is living and promoting a holistic mind, body, and spirit path to health and wellness and to life overall in general. And this ministry puts a premium emphasis on the have-nots, those that the good book refers to as the have-nots, the lost, the discouraged, the rejected, the marginalized, those that are hurting, suffering. Now, if you hear that, guys, I'm going to try to finish this message, but I do have a new puppy that's going through his first couple of days of crate training, so we'll see if he allows us to finish this without it getting too far overboard, or without him going too far overboard. But yes, this ministry puts a premium emphasis on those that are hurting in society. There's a triage approach taken by this ministry. So the lost, again, the marginalized, the hurt, the suffering, the homeless, those that are dealing with medical issues, those that are dealing with drug abuse, criminality, eating disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety, depression, abuse, alcohol issues. The same, anybody that's hurting, but continue to hope on, continuing to believe on, continuing to fight on and resist the idea that because they have been given those types of crosses to bear in life, that makes them unqualified to receiving his mercy, his grace. This ministry is raised up for that group of people, because the fact of the matter is, the truth is that that's who this person that we call Christ came for. He didn't come for the people that was alive and healthy and well and financially secure and had the corporations and the businesses and the social acceptance and support. No. He came for those, just like a doctor. Who needs a doctor? The doctor doesn't show up, or you don't go to the doctor if you got it all together. You may go there for a checkup, some preventative stuff, but the moment someone walks in and they have some issues that are that triage approach dictates that if you're not suffering so egregiously, you have to step to the back of the line. Excuse me. So, in a nutshell, guys, those are the two primary things you want to know about this ministry. I'll make some other mentionings regarding perhaps myself, the services that are provided by this ministry. But for now, let me again officially welcome you guys. I encourage you guys to definitely do what you can each and every day to honor that mind, that body, and that spirit that he has given. I'm not making light of it, but if you have 20 pounds, 40, 140 pounds to lose, that's still your body. That's still the body that he gave you. Don't be body shaming. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to go to the gym or to reach out for help. And don't you dare quit on yourself. And some of my spiritual family members, maybe you aren't the sharpest tool in the shed, as they would say. Maybe you don't have the degree, the diploma. Maybe you didn't graduate high school. You're literally looking at someone who doesn't have a 6th grade formal education. I did go to the 6th grade, but it was for about a couple of weeks. That was as far as I got. And I'm not tooting my own horn, I'm tooting his horn to inform you that so what? As long as you don't surrender to that, you still are worthy. You're still offered His mercy, His grace, His love, His guidance, protection, and prosperity. There's some of my spiritual brothers out there, maybe you don't go to church or mosque or the temple or synagogue. Maybe you go every 3 years. Maybe you don't even believe in this thing that most people refer to as God, but you believe in being a good person. You believe in respecting all life, growth and evolution, walking in humbleness and compassion and love and all these different things. Don't you dare quit on yourself and allow someone or the powers that be to tell you that because you don't go to church or the mosque or whatever your religion or spiritual belief system is, maybe none of that just never resonated with you, or maybe you evolved to a point to where you feel like there's something different for you to be about in terms of acknowledging this thing that we call God or the universe. Don't let people tell you that because you aren't dotting the I's and crossing the T's when it comes to what the world says you should be doing. Don't allow that to deceive you. Keep on keeping on in faith. Do something every single day that acknowledges your mind, your body, and your spirit. Whether you're hitting on all cylinders in one of those areas, 2 of those areas, all 3 of those areas, or if you're not hitting on all cylinders in either of those areas. He sees your heart. And as long as you're putting forth the effort, it doesn't matter if you walk in the room and everybody in the room may be smarter than you. They may have more of a mental, educational type of, intellectual type of advantage, or they're more evolved in that area. And maybe everybody, has what you would say, I guess, maybe a more refined connection with this thing that we call God or the universe. So what? If they are all smarter, if they do all have better mental control, and they can, they have the ability to utilize their creative mental faculties in ways that you may feel like they have an advantage, or they're able to do that to a greater degree than you. So what? You keep on keeping on in faith. It's not you trying to be at their best, it's you trying to be at your best, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And as long as you're trying to be at your best, that's all that matters. So keep that in mind, guys. Do something every single day. It doesn't have to be 5 hours. Just walking down that hallway, on that elevator, walking through that supermarket, wherever you are, doing whatever it is that you do, just taking a time out when that consciousness, that spirit ignites within you and you say, wow, you know what? There's a lot of people that went to bed last night and kissed their loved ones and they said, good night, loved ones, see them in the morning, and the morning never came for them. When you're consciously aware of that, when you're consciously aware of the fact that you're struggling to get those bills paid, but yesterday or that same day or tomorrow or the previous weeks or whatever, some people have already not been able to get their bills paid, and they have been homeless ever since. If you're homeless, there's somebody that's homeless and in a wheelchair. If you're homeless and you're in a wheelchair, there's somebody that's homeless in a wheelchair and they don't have the gift of sight. It goes on and on and on. It's not about how well you're doing or how not so well you're doing. It's about taking that time out to say, hey, I thank you, God, / I thank you, universe, whatever word works for you. And what I'm going to do this day to show you my thanks and appreciation for the mind that you have given me, the body that you have given me, and the spirit that you have given me, I'm going to do this. this elevator walk, this walk through the department store, whatever, I'm going to acknowledge you while I continue to go on about my business. I felt that spirit, and I'm going to give thanks to you, because I know there's people that can't walk, and they would give all that they have just to be able to walk. Excuse me. In whatever area it is, just acknowledging him and saying, hey, listen, I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but when it comes to my mental self, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit back and do some concentration games, some focus games, some games of recall. I'm going to do some of the things what this ministry and others recommend. I'm going to consider some new information, some new views and perspectives. I'm going to be introspective with myself. I'm going to use this mental faculty that you have given me in a way that I'm going to use it more precisely, more deliberately, more intentional, and it exceeds just thinking about my work, thinking about my plans for the future, thinking about all these other things. No, I'm just going to do something in a very specific way that says, this is to thank you that I have a sound mind. And the same thing goes for your physical self. Again, you may be 2, 3, 500 pounds overweight. That's not what matters. And you may not be able to walk up a flight of stairs. But when you get that thought, that spirit, that awareness that sometimes can just come out of nowhere when you're self-conscious, when you're self-reflective, when you're in that moment of awareness, you say, well, you can't walk up that flight of stairs. Well, you can walk up one stairs, you can walk up one step, you can walk up 2 steps, and there's somebody out there that can't and would give everything on this planet to be able to not even just walk up a step, but to be able to just stand up. So even though you may have that weight issue, what are you going to do that day / this day to say, I thank you? Because when he sees what you are doing, when he sees your effort, that's when he magnifies your efforts. When he parted the Red Sea, he instructed Moses to walk out there. It ain't like he parted the Red Sea and then he said, now go through. He said, hey, just head into the ocean, head into the sea. Show me your faith. I told you to head into the sea. It's going to be all right. He's looking at that heart. When he sees you moving in faith and doing whatever it is that you can do, he'll show up and do the rest. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to be totally healthy. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to be totally rich. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to have the gifts of prophecy and speaking in tongues and the gift of healing. It doesn't mean that. It just means whatever little piece of this puzzle that the universe has birthed us into to be, whatever that little piece is, it's fitted the way it should be. It's not over here when it should be over there, and it's not wedged in here when it should fit nicely over there. That brings me to basically the crux of today's message, which is, see, this is why we take this holistic mind, body, and spirit approach, because there's so much more of love and joy and faith and confidence and humbleness and wisdom. There's so much more, and prosperity and all these different things. There's just so much more that we could be when we acknowledge in a very conscious and deliberate way, when we acknowledge our minds, our bodies, and our spirits, when we properly merge, balance, and synthesize these things, because all of these things make up the you that you see when you look in the mirror. All of these things makes up the me that I see when I look in the mirror. It's not just a body that I'm looking at. That body is made up of a mind and the spirit to go along with that body. So there's just so much more human potential when we acknowledge that and when we deliberately put some effort day in and day out, every single day. You open your eyes every single day, then you should be doing something every single day. Doesn't matter how big, doesn't matter how small. There's no right or wrong answer. Or I guess there is a wrong answer. The wrong answer is to not do any of it. But there's not a right or wrong answer in terms of, this guy did 5 hours, so he's more ahead of the guy that just did 5 minutes. It doesn't work like that. And the crux of today's message, or the apex, whatever word you want to use, of today's message is we have to forget ourselves, because whether you're going through peaks or valleys, smooth sailing or rough terrain, when you're going through that, we have to, when we're going through that and we are consciously acknowledging our minds, our body, and our spirits in the middle of those storms of life. When we do so, whether it's a storm or a sunny day, when you acknowledge, when I personally acknowledge for me that we have a mind, a body, and a spirit, and we do something consciously to show the universe that we appreciate that, we're able to zoom out and say, you know what, no matter how challenging the storm is, or no matter how smooth sailing it is, at the end of the day, we can kind of like zoom out far enough, or we can forget ourselves. Like, I can forget me. Because ultimately, it's not even about me in terms of the me that I see in the mirror, or the you that you see in the mirror. We're able to zoom out far enough to say, you know what? It's all kind of fleeting. It's almost like watching a movie where you can say, you know what, at some point it's going to end. And it's good. You go to the movie theater and you're watching a movie and it's good and it's adventurous and it's heartfelt and all this, whatever kind of movie it is. But at the end of the day, you know it's going to end. So you know there's no reason for you to be bent out of shape too much or over the heels to the great, yellow brick road too much. You can stay balanced because you know that at the end of the day, it's fleeting. The movie is fleeting, and so is this life. Again, whether it's upside down, inside out, backside forth, or backside front, downside, it doesn't matter. If things are going totally smooth or things are going totally chaotic, and I get it. We all want those smooth days. But that smooth person would be very short-sighted if they think that does it for them and then they neglect having that mind, body, and spirit. You'll see, and you often see how that works out for them, because the so-called well-off rich people are some of the most miserable, unfulfilled, and depressed people in their lives, because they can't figure out how they really got all that money, but that money don't do anything for them. For those who don't have the money, it seems like, well, if you just get that money, that's going to do it. But again, there's that word. It's about balance. So we have to learn to forget ourselves. Go ahead and tell me one thing when it comes to the world and all the world's activities, even within your personal niche or my personal niche in terms of our families, our jobs, our careers, friends, neighbors, whatever. Even within that zeroed in or that boxed in perspective right there, What changes if you are removed from this planet, / you do this thing that we misguidedly refer to as die? Or what changes if I do this thing this misguided thing that we call dying? What really changes? What really happens? Now, if we zoom out, we can see absolutely nothing really happens in that little circle, no matter how big that little circle is. Your friends, your family, your loved ones, your career, your company, all that stuff. In that little circle, there'll be some tears and some adjustments made with people's schedules for a week or two or whatever, but that's it. They may moan you for 5, 10, 50 years. But I bet you they get up and go to work. I bet you they still go pay them bills and go to that party when it's time to party, or go on that vacation, or go to that business meeting. I bet the rain still comes out. I bet you new people keep moving in and out of the neighborhood. I bet you the stock market doesn't shatter. I bet you, the trees stay green. What really changes? The short answer is absolutely nothing. Again, people may be impacted in your circle. People may be impacted, and there's some emotions and all that stuff, and those things may be genuine. But the world keeps right on going. The world keeps right on going. This is how life is. It's like going to your faucet in your kitchen or your bathroom, and I don't know, you're getting some water, and brush your teeth or whatever. You got some water in a cup, or the water is going through the faucet, and you drop a tiny drop of water. What happens? What do you do when you drop a small drop of water? You're in the kitchen cooking, or in the bathroom, brushing your teeth or whatever it is, and you drop a small little drop of water. What changes? What happens? Absolutely nothing. And I'm talking about the drop of water that's so small you don't even bend down you don't even have to bend down to wipe it up. That's the kind of drop of water I'm talking about. And this is a kind of analogy that brings it home in its entirety when it comes to a human and this thing that we call life. Just a single little drop of water. And the only thing that's going to help us maximize that single little drop of water is when we incorporate mind, body, and spirit. Then we go from being a single raindrop in the ocean, to being the whole ocean within a single raindrop. Because there's consciousness there, there's awareness there, there's love, there's appreciation. There's no, again, going off onto the great blue or yellow brick, yonder, because things are so blissful, things are so great. Yeah, I'm all of that. I'm cool. I'm sharp. I'm successful. Nobody can touch me. You don't fall into that, and you don't fall into the trap on the other end. Whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your relationship, whatever. And again, I get it. We all want smooth, sunny days, but the smooth, sunny days don't make us and they don't break us. And the difficult, stormy days, they don't make us or break us. We're still just that tiny drop of water. So each and every day, show the universe thanks. Show God, show the universe thanks that you have a strong mind, that you can get up and face whatever it is that you're facing, and you can keep right on keeping on, and you don't get caught up in the murky water. You consciously, in a very self-aware way, you say, hey man, this is how I'm going to use my mental faculties And it's 5 minutes, it's 2 minutes, it's 20 minutes, whatever. This is how I'm going to use it to show thanks to the universe that I have it. For some of you guys, that may be quiet meditations, or some of you guys that may be, again, whatever it is, games of recall, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, playing a game of chess, using your creative faculties. I'm going to think of how I can just come up with a way to get myself out of this situation. He's given me a mind instead of me running around tripping out and stressing out. How about I actually just sit down and think it through? This is what I'm going to do. And you do that in every single aspect of you, your mind, your body, and your spirit. What am I going to do? Doesn't have to be nothing grand or nothing ridiculously, phenomenal. It's just something very. It's the intent. That's what he's looking at. What are you going to do to let him know that you appreciate, you're grateful for the mental you? What are you going to do to let him know that you're grateful for the physical you and for the spiritual you? When we do this, guys, we take ourselves to a whole new level, and nothing can stop us. Nothing can stop you. It doesn't mean that everybody's gonna be rich, everybody's gonna be in great shape, everybody's gonna have great friends, great careers. It doesn't mean that. It just means that no matter what happens, you are that entire ocean in a single drop. So this is what I got for you guys. Hey, here are some services that are provided by this ministry that are designed to help strengthen and nourish you in the mental, physical, and spiritual you. The services consist of philosophical counseling and or youth and young adult mentoring and counseling for the mental self. There are services for the spiritual self. These services consist of clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. I'm going to leave an email link down in the description box if you're interested in finding out what those clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices are. And of course, there's the ISSA certified fitness training for the physical self. Please go to the website at mountfitnessmbs.com to get some information about those services. And if you're interested in any or perhaps even all of these different services, hit me up by way of the email link down in the description box. I'm looking for the opportunity. I'd be blessed by the opportunity to schedule you for your initial consultation and evaluation, because I know that if the Holy Spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, guides you to reach out, then that means he sent you to be blessed by this ministry so that you can be a blessing to this ministry, and this ministry can be blessed by you so that you can bless this ministry. So this is what I got for you guys. Now, remember, please give back to the ministry, guys. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications. This is how you plant seeds. Remember, if no one plants seeds, whoever doesn't plant any seeds has no legitimate expectation to receive a harvest. So what are you hoping for? What are you praying for? What are you lacking? What are you needing? What are you believing for in your life? What are you hoping that God or the universe does for you? Then go out and do that in the life of someone else. Plant seeds, receive a harvest. Plant seeds in this ministry. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment. Send me some love. Send me a word of encouragement. Just send me something that says, hey, look, I checked out the message. This is what I think about it. Whether you agree with it or not. That lets me know that you took the time out, and that's planting a seed. You took the time out to share that thought. You can also make a monetary donation, guys. Talk about thoughts. Hey, listen, it's not the amount, it's the thought that counts. There's a Cash App link down in the description box for your monetary donation. I appreciate all of your blessings in advance, and I return them back to you supernaturally in accordance with his will for whatever good seed that you plant into this ministry. walk in expectancy for your abundant harvest that the universe has promised you. And this is what I got for you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Listen, mind, body, and spirit. This is the key that unlocks it all, that society doesn't want us to be aware of. More specifically, the powers that be don't want us to be aware of. They want us putting all our energy into our mental selves, trying to get through life, planning and stressing about what I got to do next. What have I fallen behind in? How do I get through traffic today? How do I meet the deadline at work, etc., etc. Too caught up in mental to address and nourish the physical and the spiritual. Too caught up in the spiritual. Too caught up in the spiritual. Always just praying. Never stopping and thinking about it. Just praying. Never going to the gym, never doing anything, just praying. The enemy would love to keep us scattered, mentally, physically, and or spiritually. But when we properly merge, balance, and synthesize those things, we become unstoppable because we're using all the weapons, all of the tools, all of the gifts that this thing we call the universe or God has given us. So keep that in mind, guys. Thank you for all your love, all your support. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And yes, I am Brother Minister Mongoose. Yes, I will holler back into my spiritual family members that are out there hurting the absolute most. The Bible and every other holy scripture has prophesied about the times when the first will be last and the last will be first, and the meek will inherit the earth. That time is now, guys. It's our time to rise, and this is how we do it. Peace, and I will holler back. Thanks, guys.